1 mile from the Atlantic Ocean. Stadium course TPC Sawgrass, 36 holes in the books and 36 holes over the next 26, 27 hours or so to crown a champion here at the Players. Tiger Woods, twice winning this event, inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame earlier this week. Everyone wants to know when Tiger is going to play again. We all do. There's still no clear answer. Tiger saying that it's about the same as it was. Golf activity is limited. There's no clear timetable at this point if or when Tiger will return to playing golf. So when we visited on Wednesday, it was more reflection. As Tiger walked into the new building here at the PGA Tour, his daughter Sam, age 14, terrific introduction of Tiger, who gave his Hall of Fame speech for about 20 or 25 minutes with the family around and mom, so much a part of his career. We talked about mom, dad, the family, the perspective gained for Tiger Woods before he gave his speech on Wednesday afternoon. Hall of Fame, that means you're officially old now, so congratulations on that.
Yes, that is correct.
You never like to stop and reflect on your accomplishments, but a Hall of Fame forces you to do that. So as you look back, what are you proudest of?
Upon reflection, because I've had a lot of time, unfortunately, with a lot of my procedures in the last few years, looking back on it, I think the consistency in which I played, that's something I was very proud of. I played at a high level for a long period of time. I won my fair share of tournaments. I lost my fair of tournaments. But I was proud of the work that I put in to keep myself there and to keep trying to get better, to have won the tournaments that I won. I mean, at one time, I had all 4 majors and the Players. So I had 5 of the biggest events. But also, I think something I'm the most proud of is the cut streak. Because you're going to have plenty of bad days. You can have days where you get the wrong side of the draw or just not feeling well. Things just aren't going right. Things just happen, right? Bad things just happen.
Right.
But I didn't miss a cut for like over 6 years. And that is something that I am truly very proud of.
Your daughter's introducing you. You've had the moments with Charlie at the father-son. What does it mean that they are old enough to understand you, what you've accomplished, and this moment of going into the Hall of Fame?
Well, I think it's the appreciation of what I've done in my career. Because if you look at it, I mean, most of their life was spent that golf hurt their dad. And so it was always a negative thing. And so when I ended up coming back in end of 17 and then playing all of 18 and winning the Masters in 19, that's when they actually saw the good side of golf. Mm-hmm. And they saw that, how much golf meant to me and the positive side, not the negative side.
So many people have been important for you, but 2 just stick out because of their influence on everything that you've become, and that's your mom and dad. First, a word about your mom, because of the nature of your relationship with dad and building your golf career.
Yeah.
We go there first.
Yep.
But I know your mom has been a big wind behind you this entire time.
Rock solid, hard as can be, disciplined. She was the person that was black or white. There's absolutely zero gray with her. Mm-hmm. She saw things as one or the other. That was it. And she was the disciplinarian in the family. The dad, even though people know that he was in the Army, he was Special Forces in a Green Beret, you thought he was the tough guy. Right. No, I was never afraid of Dad. I was afraid of Mom. Mom's the hard one. And my dad had a competitive spirit inside.
Sure.
But my mom is the one that she was just as tough and as solid and the support system that I needed, because when Dad was working, Mom was the one taking me to the junior golf tournaments in Southern California.
Right.
So she spent all the Pee Wee leagues and the drive out to San Bernardino and Riverside, hour and a half, and to go play 9 holes at 7:30 in the morning because we're first off and off the back 9. And she was the one. She's the one that did all that, and I couldn't have done it without her. And throughout the entire length of my career, and obviously my dad has passed, But you look at she's been there. She's the one. She's been there the entire time. So she's seen the highs and lows. She's been there as the person I could always rely on and turn to. She was the support system that I needed. She was the rock. She was everything.
Now that you're a parent, how do you see differently the pride that your dad had in what he was able to see you accomplish?
Very different. I guess you don't appreciate that until you become a parent, right? And you definitely don't appreciate it until, well, for me, I didn't really appreciate it until my kids started playing sports and started getting involved in sports. And, you know, I'm the sideline dad that, and I like to go off to the corner and sit there and just watch and observe. I just don't talk to me. I zone in and I watch my child play. And I get in my little world, and I get focused, and I'm with them. And just seeing, you know, they both played team sports growing up. They both played soccer, and now Charlie started to play golf. And I guess one of the hardest things that I had to learn is how hard those losses were. Especially in golf, we lose infinitely more times than we win.
Right.
You get on a good soccer team, and you may never lose. And so it's a different side, and when you see the loss and how much it hurts, you know, and that's hard. I mean, because
you see it as a dad.
I don't want to see my child in pain and frustrated, but you got to use those moments as learning moments and life-changing moments of, hey, you know, sometimes it might have been your fault, it might have been your teammate's fault. You got to be prepared, work harder. And having those conversations that I had with my dad when I was growing up, I'm starting to realize that I'm sounding the same way that he did, you know, and using those life moments, those losses, and even the wins, to kind of shape their future and their life for the rest of their lives. Because, you know, eventually we're going to be gone, and they're going to have to live life on their own, and they're going to be away from home. They're going to go off and do their own thing, but the foundation's set now, and those are the things I when Sam says some of the things that she says in her speech, that's directly from Dad to me that I've passed on to them. It's crazy how I didn't think I would be that way, you know, but I am the same as he was.
We could do this for an hour, but I need you to take me in a sentence or two through each phase of your career. Okay. And I want to start with the amateur years. As you look back at that accomplishment of those 6 years as an amateur and those runs in the junior and the U.S. amateur, is that as good an accomplishment as you have, given everything you've done in your career?
I would say the U.S. junior is higher than the U.S. amateur, just because there's an age limit. Okay, so the amateur, I mean, you can win for wherever, 50 years old, you can still be playing and you can still win 3 in a row. But there's an age limit. At that time, I think they moved it to 18, but at the time it was 17. So when I lost in the semifinals to, I think, Dennis Hillman from Rye, New York, and Matt Todd ended up winning, you know, that started the run. And then I won the next year at Bay Hill. And I'll never forget, because it was my second U.S. Junior. But if you're a 3-time participant in the U.S. Junior, you get a medal. And at that time, the medal was handed out, it was at Bay Hill, Arnold handed out the medal. And so I'm like, I didn't get a chance to meet Arnold Palmer. I ended up winning the tournament. Never got to meet Arnold that week. We've shared many times after that, you know, post that. And but it was one of the more frustrating moments that I'm sitting in the crowd and I'm watching these 3-time participants receive, you know, this medal from Arnold Palmer. And I'm like, man, I want that to be me. And I ended up beating, you know, I think Brad Zawecki in the final, and it kind of started the run.
You made up for it with Arnold.
I did.
I did.
Yes, I've had some good moments there.
What was it like to live through Tiger Mania from '97 through the Tiger Slam? What was it like to be you during that stretch?
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. It was nuts. I mean,
what was the hardest part?
Going back to the very beginning, okay, so '96 and '97 were supposed to be my junior, senior years. So I would have been living at Stanford in relative anonymity on campus and trying to get my degree in econ. But now I'm on this world stage, which I hadn't prepared for, and all of a sudden I had ascended to #1 in the world. I'd won the Masters, and the demands on my time, I never expected that. I mean, when as a kid, you're preparing to win golf tournaments, and that's it. All this other stuff, no one ever prepares you for that. And I was, at the time, no one turned pro at my age. I was an anomaly. Some of the Europeans turned pro because they didn't come to college. They turned pro, but the Americans didn't. We all went to the collegiate system and played all 3-4 years, whatever it is. And so there was no one my age on tour. So when I came on tour and I had all this success, a lot of my friends that I had known for all of my junior golf days and my collegiate days didn't come on tour till when I was 23, 24, 25. So those years were tough because I'm taking down the top players in the world, but none of my friends are around.
Yeah. You're out there on your own.
I really was. It was different.
The second great run from '05 to '10, you had a lot of experience and you understood a lot more about you and a lot more about success. Did that help you have that stretch of success?
It did. It did. I understood I was in the middle of a change in my swing. I ended up putting that together. I understood how to win majors. I understood how to prepare for them. I was winning golf tournaments, but I understood the whole nature of the business side of it. And that was something I didn't understand when I first turned pro. I was so shy and I didn't understand it. That was hard. But the second time around, going through that other little run there, winning major championships and winning tournaments around the world, that I had a better understanding of how to cope with it.
The comeback, a lot of people doubted you'd ever get back. Did you, at the darkest moment, doubt you'd ever get back to that tour championship moment with everybody behind you?
No, absolutely.
And that Augusta moment?
Absolutely, because I was literally laying there for months. I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't walk. I couldn't get up. Yes, those were the darkest moments because my golfing career was done. I was just looking forward to walking again, and hopefully I could live a normal life with them, with my kids, participate in their sports and go to events. I couldn't even get out of the house. I couldn't go to watch their kids play soccer. Charlie went if we wanted to go out in the backyard and putt and chip. I couldn't do any of that. Not being able to participate in their lives drove me nuts. And but once we understood what the diagnosis, but also what the fix was going to be, it was also a death sentence because no one has ever come back from a fused lower back. Right. Goose was a sounding board because Goose had L4 or L5 replaced.
Retief Goosen.
But that was going to be, at that time, maybe a 5 to 7 year window before that would break down, and eventually you'd have it fused. But mine was so degraded, and it was, okay, you're going to have to fuse this thing, but you're going to have a quality of life, but there's a good chance that you'll never be able to play on tour again. You'll be able to play golf, weekend warrior with the buddies out there, have fun, but not at the tour level.
You're going in the Hall of Fame. What's your legacy?
I'm a kid from Southern California that didn't really have a whole lot. And for me to have had the success that I've had so many people help me along the way. I could never have done it alone. I've had two amazing parents that loved me so much that no matter if I failed or succeeded, I always came home to a home of love. And that allowed me to go out there and venture more and more. They made a lot of sacrifices for me to have the opportunities that I had. And then from there, I had to earn it. I had to go out there and I had to dig it out of the dirt. And that's something I'm very proud of. I've was able to sustain a level of play for a very long period of time.
a very long period of time. We first saw Tiger Woods playing as a teen, and now we see him as the father of a teenager and now a Hall of Famer. And there have been many bumps and a lot of headlines along the way and along that road, but Tiger's sitting with us to reflect on the night he went into the Hall of Fame, on just his golf career and the people who have helped him get to where he got in that spot in the Hall of Fame. We appreciate that was the only interview Tiger did on that Hall of Fame day, and we appreciate him taking the time to talk about and share his career and also this opportunity, because of the weather, to show you an unedited conversation for about 15 minutes.